everybody. Welcome to our BookTube channel. This is our debut BookTube, okay? And we are the literary interested teens book and creative writing club at Sotomayor Learning Communities. And we are partnered with the UCLA after school program. So everybody, hi. And we're gonna talk up to our members today about the book we've been reading this semester. And this book is called Legend by Marie Lu. It's a really popular book. And we have our book club members, Myra. Want to say hi, Myra? And we have, and we have Michael. Want to say hi, Michael? And we have Josue.
Hi, I'm here. Hi.
So they will all be giving us their perspective, their views, and how much they like the book, would they recommend the book, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. All right, Myra.
Hi. I really love the book. I have it right here with me. And I really like the story, the characters. I even didn't expect the ending. It was really good. One thing that I really liked about it was probably how the descriptions in the story that really like brought me into it. Like the first words I read it, like every time would always brought me in. It was so impossible to put it down. Yeah, and it's a really good book. I really recommend it, like 10 out of 10.
So what was your favorite part of the story, Myra?
Probably like it was the part where I don't know, spoiler alert, where June met Day. That's where I got like more interested, like, because they're enemies, and they just meet, so like something that's gonna happen. So that's where that was my favorite part of the story.
Okay, so the part you liked the best was when June met Day and they were enemies. And a little bit of background to the book. This is a dystopian, futuristic novel, and it's kind of a mystery as well, right? So it's a thriller, mystery, dystopian, science fiction, social commentary, everything. And like Myra said, there are two enemies that meet in this book, and basically it's the future Los Angeles where we're all split apart, and there's a young criminal named Day, and he is accused of a crime, and his counterpart, who's a very smart, intelligent, rich, young teenage girl, is named June. So you see it from both perspectives. And just like Myra said, they meet and, opposites attract. So is there any part that you think you kind of disliked, Myra, that you felt that the author maybe let you down in that section?
No, really, I really liked it all. There was no dislikes in the book.
Cool. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a really good book, very current. Seemed like it was kind of like what was going on now. That's what we were talking about at book club, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Myra. Do you want to say anything else?
No, that'd be all.
Okay, cool. All right. So I think we have Josue. You want to go next, Josue? Tell us a little bit about Legend.
Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. All right. Well, Legend. I read this book in 9th grade. Then again, I read it in 11th, and now I read it this time. Usually when I'm reading books again, I compare the time when I read it before, the first time, the second time, and it's just, I feel the same feelings I felt, even though I've read the book. It's still that much of a roller coaster to go through. I still feel that sense of nostalgia, still feel that sense of dread for what's coming up in the future, like in the book. I still feel that sense of tenseness that is driven inside the book, and it's just it makes this jumble of emotions that that I'm familiar with, yet it takes me by just complete surprise. It's really that good of a book. Sure, I might be biased by reading it 3 times in a row, but this is exactly what I feel. Um, as for recommending the book, duh, yes, of course. Well, if you are into like what the mystery genre, the romance, suppose, yeah, that's there. Um, what else? Also action, especially in like first part, and try not to spoil much, um, but the one main part that stuck to me the most was like the beginning when we get to learn about each character, get to live through their lives, um, and it's more apparent in the beginning who they are, and it sets up like dominoes to knock down further in the book. And it's really just satisfying how everything goes down. Almost every connection is made, and it's just very satisfying, the ending as well.
Wow, that was good. Yeah, I know you really liked the book, and we actually voted on the book, and you weren't there for the vote, but everyone chose this
Right,
book.
right.
And then when you came back, you were like, "Wow, this is one of my favorite books."
Yeah,
And you're inspired to become an author by this book. Is that correct?
that is correct. Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so Marie Lu is one of our authors. She's Asian American author, and her writing style is very intense, and it encouraged other people to become authors. So that's awesome. Um, Ashley has a question, I think.
Yes, I wanted to ask you guys now that you've read the book a bit more. What did you, from, seeing how Day and June come from different backgrounds, what do you think they are like, and how are they alike? These two characters.
That is a good question. Really good question. So you asked how they were different, these two characters, Day and June.
Yeah, seeing how they come from different backgrounds. One comes from, I guess, one is poor and one is rich, so to speak. But how are they alike? Because in the end, it seems that they are alike in one form.
Yeah, okay. So, well, in the beginning, we see that these two characters are almost polar opposites by the way they are treated, by the way they have grown up. June is more of is in a strict household, very professional, you'd say, and somewhat relatable to most of the teens that go to school, have an education and all that. Um, but she's also part of like a prestige family as well. Um, People that have power, she's stuck along with those people and really had them around her for most of her life. Um, but then with Day, we see that the most relatable part is the fact that he's connected to his family, and he does almost everything in order to help them. That means committing crimes. That means just stealing, trying to do almost anything except killing. That's the important part. Anything to help out his family, because well, it's said in the beginning, but they're sick, and there's a plague going on in this area of Los Angeles that they're in. Um, how they're similar. Again, that family connection that brings almost anybody together. It's really the driving force of this entire book, and it's really something that um, you don't really expect to be broken later in the book, but unfortunately that does happen, and but it's still a good break. But yeah, I think that main connection is how they're really trying their best for others and not so much for themselves. But that's really it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good insight, Josue, because I didn't even realize that until you just said that. And like they're both living for other people. And then finally they decide to like kind of not live for each other, but just live, right? And near the end. So that, wow. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Josue, dropping that knowledge, sprinkling it. Okay. So you're next, Michael. Michael. So welcome, Michael. And I know you've been a part of book club since the beginning. So you're up to bat, Michael.
Yeah, when I think of the book Legend, was just like, it was my first time reading it, and I thought it was just pretty cool with pretty intense writing from the author and how it describes both Day and June's perspective in the story, and how they're both from different backgrounds and how they're trying to survive during this plague. How Day is like this criminal that has history with it, with like his brother, and June, it comes from a much more higher status than Day. And it's just really interesting how we both see different perspectives from them and how they go through it in the book Legend.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like seeing both sides of the story, you get a fuller picture, right, of the world, the environment that they're living in. So Michael, what was your favorite part of the book?
I think my favorite part of the book is just when I don't know. I don't really have a necessarily favorite part of the book, but I think it's mostly when we see how June reacts to how her brother uh dies, and how she believed that like that nothing was wrong, and then we get to see how it changes her world, how it changes her perspective, because she always thought that she would have like her brother with her, but when she heard that her brother died, it changes her and her perspective and how she has to manage without him and manage without no one.
Right. Yeah, that was a deep part because you know, spoiler alert again. Unfortunately, June's parents had passed away. And she does find out how they passed away, which is the twist that was kind of, you know, did you expect that one, Myra? Did you expect that twist? No, right? Who expected that, right? So that's a twist about we find out who actually murdered her brother and her parents. So that was a betrayal, and that was a mystery that we didn't even know was embedded in the story. So it was a great job by Marie Lu embedding that in the story. All right, so I think Mr. Pantaleon has a question.
Yeah, so this is for any of you three students that read the book. The events of Legend take place over 100 years in the future. What do you imagine the United States will be like a century from now? Do you think it could resemble the fractured country in Legend?
I think Myra was saying yes.
Yeah, I feel like it would resemble from what we read in the book.
What makes you think that?
I mean, I really like the way they explain like the civilians and the republic, the government, like how they all went in separate ways. I mean, we see it now, like the changes, the racism, like those things, and I'm surprised to see it in the future, honestly. And well, yeah.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. Like Myra was saying, the way that the government is becoming more, I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, more militarized, you know, and the issues that we're having with the police and, you know, issues like that. I see it. I see it. I see it. And also how she was saying the racism in this book, it was more about classism, which is another problem that, you know, is really big. So definitely where they were from would put them in a certain category where they were subjected to all kind of crazy abuses. So yes, I agree with Myra. Anyone else want to speak to that? Josue, are you talking?
Oh, right. I was muted. Okay, right. I agree with what you just said about it being mainly the class thing where if you're born in one, it's like a hierarchy basically. More so in this book. Um, I suppose you can make the argument that we live in that current state of like hierarchy and classes, but um, it's not so much apparent in the modern world than it is in this book. It's much more emphasized and uh, much more to the extreme. Well, reason being is in this book there is the Republic and then there's the um, oh wow, this is a bit embarrassing. I'm forgetting, I'm blanking out.
The
The
colonies.
colonies, yes, the colonies and the Republic. Just these two just sides of like an ununited country. The United States aren't actually united in this book, and that's like it's pretty good atmosphere to have in this book. But it's taken to the extreme, and we know that, of course, through history, America was divided once, and I mean, personally, I think it can happen. It can happen to anyone, really, through the most minute of communities or families to like nations of the world, basically. Um, so yes, it is within the realm of possibility. Whether or not, as a nation, we'll get there, hopefully not. But that's just the naive me from now speaking. I don't know the current um, world right now, but that's just what I'm saying. That's it.
Yeah, it's very pronounced in this book, and I think the author Marie Lu, she may have done that. She may have been looking at the world through her eyes and kind of just like heightened it, you know, like you know, like any other author, they want to point something out, they could exaggerate it a little bit, but at the same time, like you said, it could happen to any family or any place. So, you're absolutely right. Michael. So the question, let me read the question to you again. The events of legend take place over 100 years in the future. What do you imagine the United States will be like a century from now? Do you think you could resemble the fractured country in legend?
Yeah, I think it could resemble, well, if 100 years in the future in the United States, I think it could resemble what it's like in legend with different statuses for people and how people can be like higher and higher status, more access to advancements in like technology, medical equipment, medical terms like that. Sorry, and how they're and how they have more access to more things than to other people who are lower than them and are like struggling.
Absolutely, Michael. And you know, in the book, the main character, a lot of the reasons why he does what he does, like Josue said, is he's trying to take care of his family. His family is ill, and those medical or those things that people need to live are not available to certain people because of their status. So that's absolutely right. So We did a great job on our BookTube, guys. Is there anything that the last words, last moments that you like to talk about the book or the author, Marie Lu? Remember, there is a trilogy. So she has a continuation of these books. This is her first book in this trilogy. You can check this out on the Sora app. So anyone want to add a last comment about the book or about something that touched you or something you liked about it?
Any last minute words, I guess. The reason why we're doing this, we love the book. It's something each and every one of us enjoyed. It's really amazing that we got to do this. What else? Do we recommend this book, guys, as a whole?
Thumbs up.
Right.
Yes. We love it.
We all did enjoy it. And will we do the rest of this trilogy? I mean, I hope so.
We can.
Definitely. Yeah. We're up to that commitment. Definitely. Well, to anybody watching this, anybody listening in, just take a shot. I mean, if you don't like it, at least you read a book. You've dedicated your time to expanding that brain of yours, right? So yeah, that's really it. We enjoyed it. It was fun, and we'd like to see more.
Thank you, Josue. As usual, Josue, it has all the words. Thank you, Josue. So Myra really enjoyed the book. Is there something that you want to say in a closing moment? Oh, I think you said you had your mom and sister read it.
Actually, my aunt and my mom, yes. They're already like halfway through it, and they like so far they really like it. And for whoever's watching this, I really recommend it. Like 10 out of 10. Really good. Really good.
All right. Thank you so much, Myra. Okay, Michael, do you have a closing moment, closing statement? And let us know if you recommend.
Yeah, I do recommend the Legend book. It was really interesting to read it, yeah, especially since it was my first time reading it with all with the intense writing that the author Mary Lou put into it, and how we can look through the characters' eyes and see their situations. And I would recommend it to anyone watching.
Okay, awesome. So we are finished with our book review. We thank everyone who took the time to watch this book review. Go out and get that book at your local library. You can find it on the Sora app if you're in LAUSD. And if not, you can find it at the Los Angeles Public Library. Best place on earth. All right, guys, take care. Bye.